Right. All right. Can you believe that we are about to get started? It doesn't feel like we're about to get started, but we are about to get started. So we are going to make our way from the members' lounge and into the council chambers. Reminds me of a Harry Potter show. Into the council chambers. All right, folks. No microphone today, but there is the microphone, and I might be right behind you. You never know. All right, we're heading into the council chambers. That's right. We're heading now. No food and drink. No food and drink. No. Oh, no alcohol. Food is okay. Bring your food. Bring your water. But no, we're going streaking out of the members' lounge down to the council chambers. No, you are not going streaking. Sorry, I forgot where we were. But wrapping up. No alcohol. Water and pizza. Okay. We are heading out of the members' lounge and into the council chambers. As a reminder, there is limited seating this evening, so you want to be on your way to grab a seat. It is first come, first serve. I will hold a pair of 2 platinum level tickets for the highest bidder, if that's interesting for you. Yes, that's right. Oh, hey, Gabe. Nice to see you, Gabe. Glad you're looking warmer now. Very smart. All right. Oh, hello, Daniela. Nice to see you. What's going on? You gonna get a good seat? Amazing. That's it. Alcohol? No. Is it alcoholic? All right, then finish it off. Just chug. Yeah, likely story. Mike heard me, huh? The old switcheroo in the flow bottle. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, water's okay. Pizza's okay. But it's the council chamber is a very serious place of work. All right. There's no alcohol in the council chambers. Water and pizza only. That's what the mayor says.
So I need to try this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, best is just drink it and then crush it against your head. I like it. The exit is just full of people chugging their drinks. This is great. Water's good. They're chugging their other drinks. They're chugging the hard stuff. All right, folks, this is great. Yep, pizza is A-OK. Bring it in. Now, we want to get started on time. We're like a Swiss train here at TechTO, and we're already running 5 minutes behind. So, folks, I promise we're going to have all sorts of opportunities for additional networking and additional communications, but now we need to learn. It's time to learn. Does this work? Okay, Google, please take your seats. Does that work? No? Okay. Let's go, folks. Turning around, and we're heading into the chambers. Into the chambers. That's the fancy word for the big seating place. The amphitheater, maybe? It's kind of an amphitheater. There's some people who are in my eyesight really not reacting to all my pleas. Yeah, I'm chugging. That's sipping. That is like the daintiest sip I've ever seen. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not endorsing any sort of intense drinking, but I am endorsing it for right now so we can get this show started. All right, this is my last announcement. Finish off the pizza, bring it in. We are about to get the show started. All right. We are about to get going here. You can continue the conversation. We have a couple more minutes. We finished it. Oh, here, look at this. Oh, okay. Look, I see a great seat right here. Look at this, in between that gentleman. Second in from the second row. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's just gone. Okay, hold on. I'm going to move him. No, I don't. This is Sasha. I don't want, you can't see from here. You gotta move over. You gotta move over. Those are not good sight lines. I want everyone to have the direct experience. All right, can we do it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Rocketships event for TechTO here at City Hall. You are now in the very hallowed halls, where usually the person who's speaking has the intense focus of everybody else in the room, but not today. Not today. Has anyone here been to the City Hall before? Anyone been in council chambers before? Yeah? What brought you to council chambers? You can yell it out loud. Oh, you can't say. Oh, Joe. Sorry, it's a freedom of information request to find out what she was doing here at council chambers. Okay, does anyone have like a publicly available, disclosable reason why they were at City Hall before? Yes, sir? Yeah, Civic Tech used to run events here. That's really cool, Civic Tech. Any other ones? Okay, it's got to be non-parking ticket. Sorry, sir, I can see there's been a lot of parking tickets. Yeah. Listen, this is a cool one. Listen to this.
My daughter was a page.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And what is she doing now?
She's a BDR now in sales.
Hey, check it out. All you folks growing your sales team, this is the place to start. All right, so here is what is about to happen. Is everyone ready? I don't have my megaphone today because in the City of Toronto's wisdom, on our lease for the event, they say no hoverboards and no megaphones. Now, I don't know if that's just for us or that's now the boilerplate, the standard boilerplate for every event space rental, but it is no longer allowed. So we are going to enter into a 90-minute journey of exploration. And Daniela and your friends will have so much time to continue the conversation after our 90 minutes. I'll even build in times for us to have chats with our neighbors during this event. But for now, we are going to pay attention and we're going to learn. Okay, it's like this is the length of a not even blockbuster Hollywood film. It's 90 minutes. I know you can do it. John, come on, look alive, man. You got this? We're going to learn. It's going to be really cool. Now, check your phones and make sure that they are on vibrate. I know it's like we should know this already. I can't believe people still have their ringers on, but keep them on. Keep them on. The Wi-Fi here is quite atrocious. All right, Civic Tech didn't do their job. They did not get high speed. They worked on other things that were really helpful, but we didn't get high speed connections here. What I would love is I would love for you to stay on your phones, to take photos, videos, write down notes of things that you want to share with folks that aren't here, and you can post them on socials. All I ask is that you're keeping an open mind and ears to what's happening if you are looking down at your phone. Is that okay? Yeah, John is nodding. His eyes are mostly closed, but he gets it. This is really cool. You can tag us on the internet and we'll respond. Actually, it's just me who responds. Has anyone here posted something where I've commented on it before? Yeah, and what was my comment? Did it go viral? Why not? What did I say? Welcome. Wow, you know that wasn't AI generated. You know, if it was AI generated, it would have been this like long verbose thing with M dashes, and it'd be like, oh, hello, welcome to the community. I'm so happy to have you here. We'll see you at the next event. No, I just spew whatever I can on the Uber home. The reason we do this is because folks here discover us when we post online. And that helps us grow the community, get more people in this room, get inspired by our speakers, start businesses, join businesses, help you achieve your goals. In fact, is anyone in this room, not city council chambers, but in the TechTO room for their very first time? Let's see a show of hands. Okay, everyone whose hands aren't up, give them a round of applause. Let's give a round of applause to these newbies. This is awesome. We're gonna interview them and see exactly how they found out. Now, Amaro, is this your first time here?
Yes, it is.
And how did you find out about TechTO?
From my friend here.
Your friend. Okay, big shot over here, bragging about his friends. All right, and how exactly did you sell this event, Victor?
I said it's the event you got to be at.
And you took him at his word?
Yes, he's my co-founder. What can I do?
His equity position was at stake. He had to be here tonight. I love this. This is the #1 way that people find about this community is through a friend. So that it's just unbelievable. If you have one, you can see why we don't grow that fast. But if you have one, you should tell them about this event, and we continue to grow the community. Now, you also, it's Rachel, right? You're here for your very first time?
I am.
How did you find about TechTO?
My CEO is speaking tonight.
Okay, blink twice if you need help. Yeah, it seems like she was voluntold to be here, which is a wonderful opportunity to get exposed to this community. So if you have really impressive CEOs that should be speaking at Rocketships, like let me know, and then like you can look good, like Rachel looks good, being in attendance at her CEO's talk today. So thank you for that, and I'm going to tell you why that's important. This is an ecosystem that is up against the world. I think you know that. And for many years, people were saying, you know, Toronto, it's not San Francisco. It's not Silicon Valley. It's not New York. But the amazing thing about technology is it actually doesn't matter where you are. It matters what your visions are. It matters what your talents are. And it matters who is going to be with you together to grow. And you can do that from anywhere. And even tonight, we'll show you can do that not just from Toronto, but from Vancouver, from Ottawa, from anywhere across this country. And together, that will be what powers the future of the Canadian economy. That's what it's going to be. We're going to be making the jobs, we're going to be making the technology that is going to sustain our way of life and provide for ourselves, our families, and the future generations. So thank you for joining me with that, and thank you for putting up with the slow Wi-Fi at City Council. We're also going to say thank you to a couple more people. The City of Toronto for doing this. Those of you who were here last year, remember we had the remarks from the mayor. Thank you to the mayor. And now we're going to have a quick message from our two sponsors, Osler and Boast. Maybe we'll start with Emma. Come on up. Yeah, huge round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Hello. It's so lovely to see such a great turnout. My name is Emma, and I'm an associate in our Emerging and High Growth Companies group at Osler. I like to say that we work with everybody from a 3-person company that's still working in their garage, trying to code until the late hours of the morning, to later stage companies as well. And we really are just here to support the ecosystem and help founders throughout their journey from a legal perspective on founding companies. Thanks for being here.
I mean, about as iconic as a law firm can be in the tech ecosystem would be Osler, right? Like, is anyone here working with their team? You notice how all the rocket ship hands went up? Very interesting, and a few in the back, so pretty cool. Thank you for supporting. And now, Carlos, where you at, man? Right behind me. Okay, give him a big round of applause. He chose a far seat, so it's a long up round of applause. Keep it going.
Thank you. Wow, so exciting to be here. What a beautiful building. I was told I had 30 seconds, my best 30 seconds, so I'm going to use them now. I'm Carlos. I work in the business department at Boast. We have been helping companies with tax credits, the most boring thing. But we have helped companies get almost $1 billion in the last 11 years by just preparing it in a better way than what's out there today. We are a startup, just like a lot of the record ship companies that are here. We've built technology to help companies claim shred in a very fast and audit-proof way. So I'm excited to be here. Congrats to everyone. Thank you for coming.
Watch this. Who here has claimed shred before? Yeah, they're all going up. I mean, it's pretty crazy. The shred program, whether you love it or you hate it, is the single biggest financial supporter of Canadian tech ecosystem. I think like over 20-something billion dollars since the program started. So pretty unbelievable. Okay, so now you've heard from our sponsors, you've heard from me, but you're thinking, when is it my time to speak? Sorry, Mahendra, but we didn't get you on the agenda today.
Well, yeah, it's okay. But as long as you're leading it, that's fine. Okay.
Thank you, Mahendra. That is really heartfelt. And that is exactly the way to get more mic time here. It's to butter me up. Because now I'm going to give the microphone to you. This is our world-famous segment called Community Open Mic. I made this up. It's a time where anybody who's here can take the microphone and share whatever they want. Maybe it's a new product release that you're looking for feedback on. Maybe you founded something, you're looking for a co-founder. Maybe you are hiring and you've got an interesting role that you need from the early stage community here. It could be anything. You can celebrate a win, you can commiserate a loss. All you gotta do is keep it to 10 seconds. And this 10 seconds is tight, all right? After you've done your 10 seconds, you will post that request on LinkedIn. I'm a Microsoft shareholder. I'm looking for LinkedIn traffic to drive the valuation up. And you will ping TechTO on it, TechTO on it, so I can reply and I can amplify it, giving us the best chance of having your problem solved. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh? And just to be clear, Danielle has come to like 30 events, and she's like, wow. We've done that 30 times, and I'm still really impressed by it. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to end over there. And after I come by your section, that's it, that's all. So set your intention. You've got to have a little bit of courage to stand up in front of, I think we have a couple empty seats. So I'm going to say it's 300 folks sold out here tonight, maybe a couple extra. So set your intention. And what I'm looking for is 10 seconds making the announcement to the community. Who wants to show me an example of what that looks like? Who's set their intention and is ready to go? Here it is. Oh, did I scare everybody by saying that it was really hard? It was more just to make you look impressive if you said yes.
Where do I start right now? We just launched an app called Gopher.Run that saves you up to 25% on groceries. Saves you time, saves you money. It's simple.
Mark, can I ask, are you open to feedback? Sure. Amazing. Stand back up. Mark, have you done a community open mic before?
No.
That was textbook. It was absolutely perfect. We know what he does. We know where he does it from. We know, I mean, I think the implicit assumption here is like, you should also get 25% off groceries by going to gopher.run and getting started today, right? Pretty darn cool. I think everyone here can relate to that. So all you need to do now is go onto LinkedIn and make that same post. And maybe you can take a selfie, or you can do, are you guys together? I see gopher.com. Okay, great. You have the intern here. So you guys take a photo, and it's tough. Okay, amazing. Thanks, Mark. That was awesome. Give him another round of applause for getting us started. And now what we'll do is we're going to do the lightning round. So we're going to hold all the applause till the very end, and then we'll do like a huge round of applause for everybody, right? See, it wasn't that hard. Mark nailed it. Does anyone here want to do it? Nope. We're moving on.
I promised you to speak. Okay, so we're building Trenzy. Trenzy will be launched Q1 2026. So how scattered, how isolated does it feel when you're looking for a certain product or service? So we're addressing that problem. We're making sure that consumers will be there for you, so it will be connect meaningfully while you're creating and discovering any product or service.
What I love about Trenzy is that every month he tells me it's coming in Q1 2026, and soon we're going to find out if it's really coming in Q1 2026. All right, no, hold on to the applause. We're keeping it to the end. Who's next? All right. Oh, no, okay, we're moving on.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm currently searching for a data science job. I graduated from UBC with a Master of Data Science and have 3 years of experience building end-to-end data analytics pipeline from data injection, warehousing, cleaning, and analytical as well communication with stakeholders. Thank you.
Amazing, and it's going on LinkedIn. No, I mean, yes, it's a great one. No, hold your applause. Come on, I gave some rules for this. Hold it up. Victor, you're up.
Hello, my name is Victor. I'm looking for technical co-founder. I want to create an app in the fashion tech industry. That's going to help you to give you instant feedback prior to making a fashion decision, so a purchase or getting an outfit for an event.
It's worrying that he keeps looking at me when he talks about this. He's like, help you make better decisions for an outfit to an event. This will really benefit a lot of people in this room. And he looks right at me. I can't wait, Victor. So technical co-founder, it's going on LinkedIn. That's a great place to find it.
Hi everyone, I'm Sukhad and I'm a product-minded software developer with hands-on experience on building scalable full-stack software solutions. I'm graduating super soon, like literally this semester, and I have my finals tomorrow. I skipped that because I want to be here. So if you are looking for someone who gets the job done, who is always eager and curious to learn more, and always gets the job done, takes ownership, and I'm the perfect candidate for that. So looking forward to hear from you guys.
And he's got a built-in excuse for why he didn't do well in his finals, which I love. Like, remember, it was tough. I stayed out late getting a job.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'm the founder of Jobtowners. It's a platform to simplify hiring for part-time jobs that require no experience for students and businesses. So if you are a student, business, or you want to volunteer with us, please talk to me. Thank you.
What's the example of a job that requires no experience?
I mean, customer experience and everything, but no experience, we mean retail, we mean restaurant, hospitality, mainly those.
Okay, so not data science.
No data science.
Okay, shoot, okay. Next time.
Hi everyone, I'm Maria. I'm a co-founder at Spark.fun, and that's spelled SPARC.fun. Spark changes communication between sports creators and fans, makes it two-way through games, daily puzzles, etc. We're looking for sports creators. We would love some help, and I'll post on LinkedIn. Thank you, Jason.
Any professional athletes in the audience right now? Are you raising your hand as a professional athlete? Okay, semi-pro? Amateur? A beer league? I mean, I'd take anything at this point to help Spark. Up over here? Yep, we have one here. We're going to pass it down, okay?
Hi everyone, I'm Sonia. I work with data AI and helping products grow. I'm looking for my next role in analytics. If anyone's hiring, please let me know. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Steve Toth. I have an SEO background, and we are creating an LLM tool that will allow LLMs to represent you the same way your top salesperson would. It doesn't have a name, but it does have a name, but it's in stealth right now. But we're looking for companies like the ones we work with, FreshBooks, RBC, Spellbook, to join us and test our product.
The SEO expert trying to find leads in person without a brand name. I mean, this guy is just, he wants to grow, he wants to challenge himself.
Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I come from EventGo. We are an AI-empowered event platform, and we love events and want to get people connected. So if you are interested, please visit eventgo.ca. Thank you.
I'm breaking my own rule going backwards, but I got you.
Hi everybody, my name is Dylan. I went to TechTO back in 2015. I think Jason had a little bit more hair back then. But I'm here, I'm trying to launch my own data consultancy business. So if you're a small to medium business with any data questions, I would love to have a conversation with you. Thanks.
Where have you been for 10 years?
I used to be mechanical engineering, so I did switch.
You know, I was stressing all those 10 years looking for you, and this is what happens. All right, Dylan, don't wait another 10 years. Okay, we can do one more. Who wants it? The last one. Yes, you're gonna finish strong. Yeah, you're not gonna let me down, right?
Hi, so my name is Umair, and I'm launching Neural Sync in Q1 2026. And as a consultant working for Oracle, I've noticed that small, medium businesses have a lot of data which is working in silos. Well, what I'm doing is using neurons to help sync it for them. Thank you.
What? All right, that is going on LinkedIn with more details, along with all the other announcements you heard today, and now you've been holding it in. Can we get that huge round of applause for everyone that participated in our community open mic? Except for Dylan. Everyone but Dylan. All right, no, I'm just kidding. It was great. Amazing. So this is, I think we're going to talk about, we're about to release the Rocketships. And to release the Rocketships, I'm going to turn it over to TechTO's CEO. But before I do, I need a drum roll. The drum roll consists of you, doing it on your lap or some, you don't actually have to have a drum here. Because we are going to count down to the Rocketship reveal by Marie in 10, 9, just kidding, 2, 1, Marie!
Here it is, everybody. 35 companies that are beating all odds and actually building rocket ship companies right here in Canada. Big round of applause. Over the last year, the team at TechTO went across all of Canada. We actually did. We went to Vancouver, we went to Ottawa, we took buses, trains, automobiles. We didn't take a boat this time, but next year we will. And we found the companies that are building the largest companies here in Canada. How we went about it is we asked local VCs in all those markets, who are the companies that you expect will grow by 2 or 3x within the next year? Or who are the companies which you are banging your head on the wall right now because you didn't invest in? And this is the list that came out. I'm going to name every single one of them, and some of them are here tonight. So a big congratulations to Deck, Turbo Puffer, Collab here tonight. Let's hear a shout out. Where's the Collab team? Amazing. Moon Valley, Clutch, Well Simple, BioCell, Exacare AI, who is here as well tonight, Planned, Even Up, Full Script, Clio, Co-Brand, Assist IQ, State 22, Spellbook, Jobber, 1Password, Gumloop, Blossom Social, speaking tonight, here we are, Contact Monkey, BioRender, Solink, presenting tonight, Nesto, Mantle, there you go, Mantle team, BorderPass, here tonight as well, Felix, JNAP, Cohere, Remitian, presenting tonight, Puzzle Medical Devices, Beacon Software, Ada, and Xanadu. Congratulations. If we flip to the next slide, and, oh, perfect. You'll be able to scan this, this link and go to the full list on our blog right now. You are the first to know. We'll release it to the rest of the community later tonight. Without further ado, we thought, you know, the best way for you to get an understanding of the people behind these amazing companies was to invite some of them to come up tonight and tell you a little bit about their journey. So I'm really excited to bring Michael Matta from Solink, CEO and co-founder, all the way from Ottawa. Michael has built an incredible company who, on the back of a $60 million Series C from Goldman Sachs, has grown the company into over 60 countries and over 30,000 locations around the world. Michael, we can't wait to hear from you. Come on up.
Thank you. How's everyone doing? Great. Great to be here. I love the open mic and just being able to hear from different companies who are launching. You know, it wasn't too long ago we keep going? Oh, up. I am going up. Down then. Okay. Awesome. Okay. It wasn't long ago that we were part of that same journey. So I just want to go through really quickly what does Solink do and just go through a couple of different points that we've been through along our journey and maybe just take some questions and chat with you all. So first off, Solink we're a growing AI leader in security. So physical security, not cyber security, but physical security, the physical world that happens as we walk around in businesses. Businesses trust us to keep them safe and to keep them profitable. We have over 35,000 customer locations. We record upwards of 15 times the amount of video that gets uploaded to YouTube. So there's a lot of content, and often this is content that lives in the shadows. Nobody looks at it, nobody observes it, but the reality is there's a lot of losses, there's a lot of crime, but there's also a lot of opportunity that lives in that video. As was mentioned, we've raised about $150 million of capital, most recently in our Series C with great partners like Goldman Sachs, OMERS, Generation Ventures, Valor, BDC, and others. And I think most importantly, we are a company that focuses first and foremost on serving our customers. We have a heartfelt passion for being able to support our customers and really be a service to them and really be an extension of their teams. So I wanted to just kind of spend more time talking about some of the lessons that we've learned as we've scaled. Oh, sorry, it's better. Some of the lessons that we've learned as we've scaled the company. So here's 4 principles that kind of guided our journey. And there's many more, but these are the 4 that kind of came to mind as we were building this deck. Whoops. The first is take unreasonable risks in the early days. So how many of you are starting or building something that is pre-revenue right now? Awesome. I would say the incentive is not on the customer to bet on you. You have to take an unreasonable amount of risk for a customer to say, I will part with my dollars, my time, my energy, my feedback to help you. And there aren't many customers that will do that. And in the early days, what that meant for us is we had to buy servers, we had to buy equipment, we had to buy hardware, and literally take it on our own backs and give it to the customer for a small upfront payment. You see, in our industry, most people buy equipment, they sell it to the customer at a margin, and then they enable it with software, and they want to make money on the software. One of the things that we did differently was we bundled that hardware and software together, and we said, it will take us 10, 12, 16 months to pay back that initial investment. But we want to do that to learn, to capture feedback from the customer, and to be there. One of our first customers was Tim Hortons. We took down the Tim Hortons a couple of times because we were just processing way too much video on their bandwidth on the internet. And so what happened was that we learned from that. But because the customer was only paying a small amount to us every month, it wasn't this massive investment. Oops. The second one is service is free. You don't have to pay for your time. The larger the company gets, the more you actually start thinking about customer support, customer success, and how much that costs. Our first support agent was me. I went to bed with the phone on ringer high, and if a customer called, you'd pick it up. And so we made the decision very early on in our journey to be 24/7 support. That just meant Mike's phone went off. And when Mike's phone went off, the only thing you could do, you don't have the best product, you don't have a big team, but you can always pick up the phone for a customer. And those tenets of just being there for customers, being an extension of their team, were priceless in the early days. It allowed us to iterate quickly and be able to get to market faster. And the customers that will stand up today and say, I bet on Solink in the early days, it's kind of like finding that hole-in-the-wall restaurant that nobody knows about, and you just want to tell your friends, oh, I found this great spot. It's the same idea that customers have when they talk about betting on us in the early days. And that's such a privilege to be able to partner with customers, and it really just came with giving up a little bit of time. And I would urge everyone, if you aren't 24/7 support, do it today. It's not hard. It takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of effort, but like that's what we do. That's why we're in building mode and we're trying to get something out to market. Listen to your customers, be there for feedback. The third is there's no such thing as tech tycoons. The reason for that is tech is hard. It's hard to build a durable business that will stand the test of time in tech because tech changes so quickly. There's real estate moguls. There's all kinds of other industries where people have built massive businesses that stood the test of time for hundreds of years. Tech's not one of them, at least not yet. And it's because tech is just hard. You need to keep innovating. Most companies get complacent. Founders get lazy. CEOs get hired and rehired over at different companies. And part of it is because you just lose that grit. You lose that desire to win. And I would just urge everyone, don't rest on your laurels. No matter how big you get, just keep focused on, keep reinventing yourself. We went through an era of hardware to SaaS to cloud to AI now, and just you need to keep focusing on reinvention over and over again. And whoops. The last one is have unapologetic ambition. There's nothing that infuriates me more than hearing Canadian politicians talking about building Canadian companies to serve Canadians for the Canadian ecosystem. We are a small drop in the bucket. Build a global company, do something that matters at the world stage, and it just happens to be in Canada. That's the focus. It's not about building something for Canadians. It's about building something that is global, that will change the world, change the trajectory of what's happening. You just happen to live here. That's all I've got, unless there's questions.
Let's take some questions.
I'll start. I was lucky enough to travel this summer, and I discovered that Solink was active on the island of Ibiza in Spain. Now, you started with Tim Hortons. What's the most surprising place that Solink has taken you to?
What did the camera see Jason do in Ibiza is what I want to know.
That's kind of the undercurrent to the question, and can we erase what the camera saw?
The good news is we don't have access to it, and so I mean we're deployed in over 62 countries. Our customers take us, and we have kind of global multinational customers that have taken us to over 62 countries. I think probably the most interesting one is we're on a boat in Hawaii where they do like tour guides, and it's deployed on the boat. We're deployed in lots of food trucks. We're deployed in all over Asia, all over Europe. I think the boat's probably the most interesting one. That's my guess. Yeah. Any others? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
I can repeat it if you want. There's other.
Hi there. Thank you very much for the presentation. My question is, what did it take to reach out to Tim Hortons and to close the contract?
What did it take to reach out to Tim Hortons?
Yeah.
You know what? I call it we went in and out of a lot of rabbit holes in the early days. We thought that selling to corporate or kind of approaching the corporate entity was the right way to go. And we tried really hard for a really long time. We tried going to other partners that were already in Tim Hortons. The reality is go to the people who are burning with the need. And like at the end of the day, that was the operators, that was the business owners today. And we learned the hard way that, you know, if you get a groundswell of customers that care enough, that groundswell will grow and you will get other people interested. But if you try to approach the people that are second or third order away, it's a harder sell than to go to the people who have the burning pain. And the reality is the operators had the burning pain because they're the ones who are facing the profitability risks. They want to be able to improve their profits, keep their businesses safe. And so we went to them eventually and saw that success.
Thank you. I had a question regarding how you made the approach that allow your technology and processes to scale to so many countries. Especially we have privacy, we feel like the video. So how did you design something that could scale?
I mean, there's two different questions in that. Building it to scale, I think part of the beauty of building on the internet is that it enables you to scale if you have the right foundation. And so the ability, most of our competitors in the early days built it as a hardware product, and they would ship it, and they would have 2 or 3 different releases every year that they would upgrade. We had the benefit of building on the internet, on cloud. And so we could ship 2, 3 releases every single day if we wanted to and have a very fast feedback loop. So the ability to scale was built into going to cloud. I would say the privacy aspect was, and again, like I think this is being constantly rewritten. We focused on it's the customer's data, they own it, they have full control over it. We are just the stewards of providing that the technology rails for them. And that's always been our de facto moat. We don't own the data, we don't try to benefit off of it. We've had hedge funds approach us trying to buy the data, we've always said no. There's lots of ways that companies can get tricky in using the data, selling the data, taking advantage of the data. We've always erred in with the how do we benefit the customer? And again, that's always been our focus. Our North Star is focusing on being a service to customer.
I have one question. Check.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to check if this is working. First of all, amazing. I saw some of your team in SAS North. It was really incredible. I saw the whole pitch. I wish everyone here did too. But I want to ask, I'm building a company that helps businesses scale globally, specifically B2B. And just because of, you know, the digital noise, I'm focusing more on the event space. So which trade shows, events to sponsor and to go to so you're not wasting the wrong marketing budget. I want to ask about your strategy on early days on identifying which countries to go to according to the market, especially now there's a lot of tariffs and stuff happening. I want to ask about what strategies you took then versus what's happening now?
Yeah. Look, we started, we're based in Ottawa. We started in our own backyard. Everything was draw a line. I mean, we have to physically install something at customer sites. And in the very early days, we drove to our customers. And so it was, how many kilometers is it from our office to that customer that we're deploying to? And so we went to them. And quickly, our network grew from Ottawa out. And eventually, we learned how to build a playbook of, okay, if we can do it, can we get a partner to do it? Can we get the customer to do it? Can we get a third party to do it? And we just kind of built the muscle. And every step of the way, I think speed is a currency. The faster you can iterate and improve the service. And we just continued to do that over and over again. How do we make this a little bit simpler? Initially, the first install took 6 hours. Then it was 4 hours. Then it was 2 hours. Then it was half an hour. Now it's probably closer to 15 minutes. And we're still trying to tweak that. How do we make it 10 minutes? And I think the ability for you to make it easy and seamless is critical. That's what worked for us. I don't know about the event space as well, but one of the benefits of our model was the ability for the person at the edge not to really know what they're doing. They could work with us and we'll do it remotely for them.
Last question over there.
So you just mentioned that over time, the product kind of evolves and as you iterate. But I was curious, from the early days to today, is the core problem that you solve for your customer evolved as well? Or is it the same? And if there was an evolution, how did you know that this is a vector to chase?
Yeah, I mean, I think the core problem that we first solved was, how do we give business owners the ability to manage their business without physically being inside their business? That was the first step. Then we realized by doing that, we can help them manage their profitability. By doing that, we also managed to help them reduce crime and risk in their business. And now we're getting into, how do you use all of this data to help them optimize their top line, their revenue? How do you improve traffic? How do you improve product upsells? And it's kind of, it has evolved over time, but the core focus was, how do you help business owners manage their business without physically being inside of it?
Congratulations. Welcome to the Rocketships list. That's awesome. Wow, these are some big problems that you're helping solve. The next company is also from Ottawa, which makes me think this is a really good time for a Startup Bus shout out. Do I have some Startup Bus folks over here? Sarah, you asked a good question. Hey, Startup Bus, can I get a Startup Dollars? Startup Dollars! If you know, you know. If you don't know, you get on the bus. That's it. Thanks for being here tonight. Our next founder is Larry, and he's the CEO and co-founder over at Remitian. Remitian solves a problem we all have, which is remitting our taxes on time. Really hard. We were super excited at SAS North to partner with Boast to do our Rocketship event, and there we were able to actually announce, I believe it was for the first time, your $10 million seed round. So congratulations on that. And come tell us about your rocket ship.
Hello, everybody. It's a tough act to follow, Mike. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Larry Hasson. I'm probably not, don't have a traditional path there, but to being a founder. The business is Remitian. It was originally called TaxPay, but we changed the name. Paying taxes on time is a good thing. So we basically help businesses, high net worth individuals pay taxes, and it's a global tax payment solution. So you can pay other countries back and forth, etc. So my journey is a little bit different. Went to Western. I'm actually a tax accountant, and I'm a partner of a tax firm. So most of my time I'm sitting behind a screen, not talking in front of people, so a bit nervous today. I moved to Ottawa to run a small firm, director of tax right now, customer success obsessed, and at some point, I went from accounting Joe to AI bro. So the journey was kind of interesting because I lived the problem and I still live the problem, but way less so. So most of my clients are small businesses. They come to me with their year end. I do their financial statements, tax return. I prepare a schedule of payments for them. And then I say, okay, great, we're done. You go ahead and make your payments. And then, and then we get back to the next year, and they've gotten letters from the tax authorities. They owe interest, they owe penalties. They don't know why. They forgot. They couldn't figure out how to do it on the government site, on the bank system. They set up the wrong payment, the wrong year. And then I got to spend all the time fixing it, or my team does. And then there's penalties and interest, and of course it's always my fault, right? So, oops. The hard truth is it's a $65 billion problem, lots of unpaid taxes in the, there's $1 trillion receivable to the IRS. It's getting harder, so it's a problem that's getting worse. You can't, you have to send, like the IRS and the CRA are banning checks, and there's a lot of more AML, like anti-money laundering rule regulations. So the road to Remitian was really one where I got fed up doing the work that I wasn't getting paid for and being responsible for a problem that I didn't think I could solve. And it got to a head with me where I was lying in bed and my wife elbowed me saying, hey, did I pay the taxes for this or did I miss my installments? And sure enough, she missed them and had penalties and interest. And, I felt like I was maybe in the dog box. But regardless, I said, maybe there's a way I can do this for you, and maybe I can do this for others. So fast forward, I built the tool, deployed it or used it with about 200 of my clients. Spoke to a couple firms like Crow Soberman and ZenBooks, which are very tech-savvy, forward-thinking firms. They adopted it too, incubated it, and then at some point, Solon came to me, who's the co-founder, and said, hey, share the love, get this out here. This actually could help a lot more people. So we spent 2 years in stealth, obtained more licensing and regulatory approval in the US. We actually were able to convince a lot of enterprise firms, mainly in the US, to work with us, to co-develop it with us, and now we've launched in the US as well. So we're in many states and we've grown, which is crazy, So I'm still behind my desk doing tax returns, but I'm doing this too. So what are we? We're basically a remittance payment infrastructure. We partner through APIs. We work with accounting firms. We work with large businesses that have many taxes to pay in many jurisdictions. And as of lately, we're working with some FIs to automate and streamline their processes internally as well, which is exciting. It's crazy what gets used. There's checks, couriers, mail. It's all getting used now, and it could easily be streamlined in a digital process. We've done a lot of cross-border tax payments, so US people, hockey players trying to pay taxes back to Canada and vice versa. It's actually a really tough process, so we've solved that. We're announced today, yes, so our closing of our 10 million seed round. These are some of the really forward-thinking venture funds that have backed us and have supported us on this journey, which has been super exciting. These are some of our new board members. So again, a couple from Baker Tilly, Aprio. These are large US-based accounting firms that are working with us as well. And then a VC from California as well. So yeah, just some key things that I thought is the startup with the highest probability of success is one where there's a repeat founder. So I was lucky to convince Solon Angel, the co-founder. He's the CEO right now. And I think when TechTO chose Remitian, they were hoping he would be here instead of me. He's a rare personality. He lives in the present and the future at the same time. So he's really dynamic and energetic. And he understood the pain immediately. And he was also looking for a challenge, having recently exited a successful venture. So I think that's it for me now. Are there any questions?
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah. Excellent presentation. I guess the question I have is, when you're assisting your customers, your clients, are you also providing financing? I know you're coordinating effectively communicating that tax is due, but do you assist in financing? Because most businesses pay late because they don't have the money.
Yeah, that's right. So first we wanted to build the rails, build the tools to actually enable the payments. It's actually really complicated just to do that and to coordinate that. We do have our credit tool coming online fairly soon, which will effectively do that. What's great for a business is if you don't have the cash because of cash flow, or you have to pay your sales tax or whatnot, we will enable credit. That's actually now a deductible loan, so you can actually write off that interest, whereas government interest is not deductible. So it's actually a bit cheaper to pay us than to pay the government. So yes, yeah.
Hi. Really great talk. I was just curious. You mentioned you were in stealth for 2 years. Could you explain a little bit as to why you made that choice and why someone might choose to kind of build in stealth mode versus building out in the open?
Sure. I think our choice was more a function of we're dealing with really large amounts of payments. We wanted to make sure that we had a system and a software that was as secure as possible. We were waiting for our SOC 2 compliance. We were waiting for some regulatory approvals in the US. We were talking with ventures that we just felt we didn't want anybody to steal our idea either, because we weren't sure yet what our moat is. Now we're a lot more confident in our moat, so we're okay with that. But at the time, we weren't sure, and we were still figuring that out.
Thanks. So when you were in this stealth phase for 2 years, how long did it take you to bridge having the process being, I'm assuming, manual in the beginning that you were doing yourself or with help from others, to doing it in your automated way? Over those 2 years, like how did that process go?
So I think Mike put up there on his first slide, take unreasonable risk, unnecessary risk. I took a lot of unnecessary risk in the early stages. I had my house on the line, personal credit in case things went wrong, because the bank wouldn't process payments or give us approval without that. So yeah, there were a lot of sleepless nights of me reconciling. Everything was automated, so we did build the tool to automate it, but everything was being audited and checked by me, and luckily I'm an auditor, so I did audit for years. But yeah, for the first year and a half, 2 years, it was a lot of sleepless nights making sure those payments were made on time.
Hi, I have a question. Before you got your SOC 2, how do you convince your clients to work with you?
That's a great one. So before that, we were working with, thankfully I run my own accounting firm, so I was able to talk to my clients. We did still get insurance. We still got penetration testing on our product. We still were approved to be used through like a bank, so we had a banking partner. So it wasn't a huge lift to get the first 200-300 customers, but it's been significant or required to get the large enterprise sales.
Thank you.
All right. Are you guys having a good time? Aren't these stories amazing? All right. By the way, we weren't actually trying to get your co-founder. We were trying to get you, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about TechTO. A few of you are new. So if you don't know, we have much more than just an event at City Hall. We actually have events about 2 to 3 a month. So we hope that you'll join us for our next ones, and we'll go through a few of them a little later in the evening. But we meet every first Monday of every month at Mars, and we're going to continue that amazing tradition next year. So we hope that you'll join us. By joining us tonight, you are also registered to the best tech newsletter in Canada. You're going to receive it in your inbox twice a week. Where's Alejandra? Alejandra is our amazing writer. There she is. So Alejandra, you'll hear from every week, and she'll tell you about all the things you need to know about what's going on in tech in Canada. We also have a YouTube channel, so if you missed some of the talks tonight, some bits, or you want to go back to it, the talks will be back on our YouTube channel on Thursday. And if you want to go back, we have archives all the way back to 2014. So you'll definitely want to go check some of those out. If you're looking for something to listen to on your way to kids drop off or a long commute, the TechTO podcast is a really good place to hear from some of Canada's best founders, amazing stories. We just dropped Andrew from Bordy's episode just this week, so go check that out. And if you are looking for a job, which I know a few of you told me you were today, if you didn't know, we've partnered with the amazing team at GuruLink. Michael, wait for us. And we have a job board. So all of our rocket ship companies from the 35 on the list now have all of their jobs listed on our job board. So go check that out. Over about 1,000 jobs right now. We also have our TechTO directory, so if you are a service provider or you have an awesome technology that the tech community should be using, scan this code, put your technology, give a discount. The supplier directory is where you get deals for things that our community is building. Upcoming events, Together Toronto is back in January, so this is the official last event other than a very secret YC founder party on Wednesday. So if you're a YC founder, ask for an invite. But otherwise, the last event of the year, and we'll see you back in January with Together Toronto and then Commerce Toronto and Sales Toronto. If you didn't know, we also have a membership. How many of you are members here? Any of our members here today? Wow, this is incredible. So our membership is how you get signed up to access all of our events for free. Also, if you're a builder and you're building a company that has $3 million or more in revenue, you are now eligible to join our Peer Scale network, which is a very exclusive network for founders or for CEOs, COOs, and CTOs only. So check that out. And other than that, that's pretty much enough for a team of 5, right? Don't you think? Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our next founder, Maxwell, who is the CEO and co-founder over at Blossom Social. I have the exact number, but Maxwell, you went from 1.1 to 3.8 million in 1 year. Is that right? Wow, big round of applause for Maxwell. Come tell us your story.
Awesome. All right, hey everyone. My name is Max. Thank you, TechTO, for an awesome event, and shout out Osler as well. They were our legal counsel since the beginning, since we were a team of 3 in a windowless WeWork office. We now have a window, which our team all fought over, but I won, so I got the window, much to my co-founder's dismay. But I'm super excited to be with you guys today to share a little bit about Blossom, but more importantly, share a little bit about our journey. And funny enough, I have a very similar theme to Mike, which is, how I think fear, and specifically fear of competition, almost killed Blossom in the early days, and how over the last 4 years of building Blossom, we've really learned to think bigger and not be afraid to compete on the global stage. And I really love that theme and some of the things you said at the end there, Mike. And I've talked a little bit about how, if you think of Canadian athletes in the Olympics, and they're playing for Team Canada, they're not playing for Team Canada against Canadian teams. They're representing Canada on the world stage. And I think us as Canadian founders can think the same way, where we're almost, the Olympians of business, the Olympians of tech, and we can really have the chance to represent and make Canada proud on the world stage. So I want to share a little bit about that journey. But first of all, just for some context setting, for those of you guys who don't know, actually, show of hands, how many of you guys have heard of Blossom? Or how many of you are on Blossom and have it downloaded? Let's go, nice. Well, we are an investing social network. So we're for people who invest in the stock market, which should be all of you guys. And what makes us really unique from a Reddit or a Twitter is that we actually connect to a user's brokerage account. So users share exactly what they're investing in transparently, and all the posts are backed up by real holdings and real trades, creating a really transparent community of actually primarily long-term investors and people who are looking to build long-term wealth, in contrast to, say, Wall Street bets. But diving a little bit into the story of Blossom, in the early days of Blossom in 2021, we had the idea for this investing social network, and it was around the same time that Wall Street bets and GameStop was really taking off. And so at that point, I was 24 years old. I did what a lot of founders do, where they Google, okay, investing social network. And much to my demise, I found lots of different startups like Common Stock, like Finary, that were far ahead of us and had raised millions and millions of dollars. And so what we did was we became obsessed with what they were doing, and we essentially figured, hey, we can't compete with these guys. Who are we? We're these 24-year-old Canadians in Vancouver, and so we said, hey, we're just going to focus on Canada. And actually, someone mentioned the YC party. It's funny. I remember with YC, I kept applying, and we kept on applying with these different strategies, which were completely around what our competitors were and were not doing. We were essentially afraid to compete, and because of that, we looked inward to Canada, and then first we listened to what the competitors were doing, and then we let ourselves get dictated by what investors were telling us, which was, hey, if you're going to be in Canada, the only way to do that is to become a brokerage. And so we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours trying to get our broker's license, and just letting ourselves be tossed around by the waves of what competitors were doing, what investors were doing, and really, almost drove the company off a cliff. But the one thing we did do over those 2 years that I'm very happy that we did was we launched quickly, and we got in front of our users and in front of our customers. And we started listening to their feedback, and we started to look at what was actually working in our business. And the first glimmer of hope really came when we landed a $44,000 contract with BMO back when we had 10,000 users. And this was really exciting. We found actually the ETF space, the exchange-traded fund space, had a huge problem that we were solving, which was reaching this retail investor. See, for years and years, ETFs had primarily targeted advisors, and retail investors were taking off, and they had no way of communicating and with reaching this audience. And what was really interesting was when we started the company, we had no idea the space even existed. I maybe knew a little bit about ETFs, but we didn't know the size and scale of this opportunity. But by launching and by testing and by learning over those 2 years, we were able to identify this opportunity. But what was really interesting was we had told all of our investors for the last 2 years that we were going to become a brokerage. And so we kind of knew in our heart that that wasn't working, and that was dictated by what our competitors were doing, and that was dictated by what our investors were telling us. And we had this opportunity, and I remember calling up some of our lead investors and saying, hey, I'm thinking we have this opportunity, and a lot of them said, I don't think that's the right move. You're going to become a media business, or the brokerage gives you such a moat. And they had this vision of us, becoming the next Wealthsimple. With this, it was like, well, what do you become? And they couldn't, see the billion-dollar outcome. But I think what we learned was, hey, we were solving a real problem for real customers, giving us real money. And so I'm very happy that we doubled down on that and really pivoted to focus on what was working. And since then, things have been going good. Killing my punchline here, Jason. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, since then, so that was the first 2 years of the business. Now, the last 2 years, when we really found something that was working, doubled down on it, and went all in. We've grown to 500,000 users. Apple named us one of the top 25 apps for 2025. And one of the things I'm most excited about is since then we've 10x'd revenue from 300,000 to 1.1 million to this year we're on track for 3.8 million. And I have my head of partnerships, Tim. I think we're thinking 7 to 8 million next year, knock on wood. And I think that really came from identifying a problem, identifying something that customers were willing to give us money for, and then my team always jokes, doubling down over and over again on that was working. We also found, funny enough, with the the early days, a lot of VCs didn't believe in us. We found another path. So we raised the most successful equity crowdfunding round in Canadian history. We raised $2 million in 6 hours from 2,000 of our users. Maybe some of you guys in the crowd to round out our $3.5 million seed round, and that really, faith of the users, faith of our clients is what kept us going, and I think what has brought us here today. And so to quickly share the 4 lessons I learned, and I will be quick because I've gone over my time, but I think fundamentally, don't let competitors and don't let investors dictate what you're doing. Listen to your customers, listen to your clients, listen to the people who are giving you money, and chase that. Because it's very easy, especially for young, especially for early founders, to get obsessed with competitors. Competitors will almost never be the reason that your startup fails. Third, it really took 2 years of hard work and iterating. I think we could have done that faster if we weren't getting tossed around by what our competitors were doing. But startups take work. I mean, you heard from Larry, right? It was 2 years in stealth, working in silence before you're able to come out and announce this beautiful $10 million round. I think a lot of startups, especially young founders, expect quick results and expect it to be quick and easy. So there's no path without the hard work. And finally, building a startup is fun, but it's not easy. So make sure you're up for the challenge, and good luck. And that's all from me. And make sure you download Blossom if you're into the stock market, and excited to connect with you all.
We'll take some questions. What's in your portfolio, Max?
Oh. Well, actually, you can see my whole portfolio on Blossom. That's one of the beautiful things. Super quickly, I'm primarily in the S&P 500, although I've in ZSP, the BMO ETF, which I got to show the BMO our love as our first client who basically helped us turn around the company. And then I also, because S&P is getting very tech heavy, I've diversified into emerging market ETFs, as well as other international ETFs and healthcare, which I think is a unsung sector right now.
Does anyone ever tell you to XEQT and chill?
XEQT is funny. It's almost a bad word because it's BlackRock, and all of our clients are competitors of BlackRock. So you have Fidelity with FEQT, BMO has ZEQT. So they're all fighting. The beautiful thing about the ETF space is there's infinite number of ETFs. So, but yes, a lot of our users, actually there's one user who, just for those of you who might think, oh, it's just meme stock trading. One of our top users, he invests entirely in XEQT, and he has a young daughter that he calls his XEQT princess. And he's always posting about her and how XEQT is helping, going to fund her education.
Hi, Max. Thank you for this amazing speech. I did download the app. I'm going to check it out later. Okay, I wanted to ask you specifically about getting BMO on board when you had 10,000 users. You say only, but I mean, that's, I think, really impressive. Can you give me an insight about that journey?
Yeah, I definitely can. And is anyone in the audience more like B2C founder focused? So the number one thing I think we did really well in the early days and throughout is our creator strategy. So we work with 150 of some of the top finance creators and influencers across North America. And the first one who really came involved with the company was Brandon Beavis. Some of you guys might know him from YouTube. And I think myself as a founder, you have to be really good at storytelling. And one of the, I say there's maybe 3 things I did which really made a massive impact in the company. One was getting him on board by sharing with him the story and the vision. And so with him, he had so many of the relationships with BMO. BMO was actually a client of his, and he was the one that got us the in for them to take a chance on us. So a bit of a unique story, but I actually do think it's replicatable. One of my friends and now colleague Tim, with his startup Coupley, implemented the same strategy with relationship creators in the couple space, and it worked like one for one the playbook. And so highly recommend, like especially with B2C, a creator first strategy is really important. And now actually about 25 of those creators have invested $500,000 of their personal capital into Blossom. So getting them to believe in the vision, I think, is very important, and not just treating it as a transactional relationship.
This doesn't work. Okay. Thank you for sharing your story. My question is regarding the early days when you were building your MVP or testing your idea. Which were the metrics that showed you that this is going to work?
Yeah, I think the number one for us and for a consumer app really is retention. And so from pretty early days, we had retention rates which ranked us in the top 10% of social and finance apps. So even though the community was small, it was clear we were solving like a really strong need for them. And I think the one thing above all that you should avoid as a founder is not getting yourself into vanity metrics. A lot of people, they view downloads as a milestone. They'll view funding as a milestone. They'll view all of these things which actually don't matter to building the fundamental business. For us, like the core metric is like MAUs, monthly active users, retention, all of these things which mean the users actually love your product. And so like that has always been the North Star, and that was something where we knew what we were doing was really resonating with a small group, and it was just about expanding. It's sort of the YC model of, you know, build something customers love. Even if that's a small group, that means that you're onto something.
This was very impressive. I have a question about the competition. Like, was it like there's enough for everyone? There's a lot of, especially in the B2C space. When did you decide that? Were you trying to be novel, or were you trying to find a huge differentiating point? Because that company was in the States, right? So how did you decide this was a completely different new idea? I've not seen this, and it's amazing. When did you decide that this is the way to go? And how much did, you know, looking into your competitors help, you know, deter your strategy versus confuse you on what you should be focusing on as your own like founder market fit?
Yeah, I think it definitely deterred us and confused us in the early days. Like we were young, we were like completely obsessed with what they were doing. And you hit the nail on the head that in fact, a lot of times when there is a lot of competition, it's a signal that there's a market there. It's a signal that there's opportunity. And so I would say like, don't focus on what they're doing. I think especially in the early days, like just build, just listen to your customers, because it's very easy to get distracted of trying to find that differentiation. When you're also small, the chances are no one's heard of any of you, and so like it's not worth it of trying to be like, oh, how am I different than this or that. I would just say like keep a passive view of what they're doing, but listen most importantly to the customers and to the clients, because for us it was a huge distraction. And ironically, the ones we were most scared of, when the bear market hit, they gave up on the business and shut down. And funny enough, that was almost worse for us, because then when we went to pitch to VCs, they were like, well, all these other companies that have tried this have failed. And then I was like, oh shit, I wish I had my competition back, because they were validated the market. So luckily, you know, we found the model and the monetization and everything that worked. But it was almost better when we had the competition, because they validated the market. And then really, like, again, competition is rarely the reason you lose. I think once you're at maybe the scale of like a Mike, then the competition and the differentiation matters a lot more. And maybe Mike can speak to that after. But like at a certain scale, then it matters, because people know about the space and you're competing for clients. But when you have 1,000, 10,000, whatever users in B2C, no one's heard of any of you.
Sorry, just a quick follow-up. I'm not trying to be selfish. Sorry, just so you mentioned something about investors, and I'm in a similar situation. At what point did you realize that, like, if you went back in time, would you have waited for raising? I know that you need some funds to, for example, especially if you need influencers to help scale your product. But like my situation is like with investors is if you don't have product market fit, it's so hard to be like, this is what I'm going to build. I need to stick to it because that's what they invested in. What would you do differently?
Yeah, I mean, I think we raised more money than we needed to in the early days because we wanted to become a brokerage. And so because we let ourselves get dictated by competition, by investors, we sort of went down the wrong path, and we ended up wasting a lot of the early money that we raised. I think in hindsight, if we had just, you know, stick to being lean, doing it as what we could with trying to get product market fit or early signals of product market fit before raising, it would have been obviously much less dilutive. And probably stuck us down the better path with respect to strategy. I think especially with the early stage founder, like you need to find some signal that what you're doing is working to get VCs interested for good reason, right? Because VCs have so many different companies that they can look at that they can invest in. And so I would say like there's no shortcut to like getting that signal. You need to, you know, put the work in and find creative ways to do it. The one thing I will say is influencers, if you're a B2C strategy, don't need to be expensive. Again, if you're good at storytelling and you can get them on board with the vision and as partners of the business, equity can be your greatest currency in that regard. And so Brandon Beavis charged $10,000, $15,000 a video. we couldn't afford that, right? So we got him on board as, I like to joke that we were like, well, rather than us giving you 15 grand, you give us 50 grand and make the video for free, because he came on board as an investor. So yeah.
I think I'm lucky last. I'll keep it brief. On a platform that thrives on user-generated content, you mentioned 10,000 users. How did you make the platform worthwhile when you had sort of 100 users, 500 users? How did you make it something that was worth being on when there was nobody there?
Yeah, I mean, the way we solved the cold start problem, really, I mean, at first it was like our posting and our content, but the influencer and creator strategy made a huge difference, because we partnered with, first Brandon Beavis, who I mentioned. If any of you guys follow the creator space, Canadian in a T-shirt, Joy Yang, some of those folks, Brandon was able to get on board, and then we were able to like increase the community like very quickly through their communities, and then it sort of built this an actually valuable place to be. So I think but in general, like marketplace businesses or social media network businesses are very challenging for that exact reason. The nice thing is, once you actually pass or fix that problem, you have a nice moat. So I would say it's easy. That was our strategy. Probably doesn't apply to everyone here. But thank you so much.
All right, here we are. So last but definitely not least is Michael. And Michael is head of marketing at BorderPass, which is immigration tech, legal tech technology. And when we asked them what's the secret to their success, they told us that so it's one lawyer can serve 40,000 clients on the platform. Is that right? All right, come on up.
Thank you, everyone. Our purpose at BorderPass is to solve legal complexity, which we feel is a hidden infrastructure problem in Canada's and the world's economies. And I wanted to talk a bit today about why that is, why the company was founded, and where we hope to go. So the Bank of Canada quantified how important immigration is to our economy. And newcomers added last year, or in 2024, I should say, a 2.9% boost in economic capacity, and 2.5% the year before. And when immigration is restricted, as it's projected to be in 2025 and the years forthcoming, we see that that economic boost drops considerably. So PM Carney talks a lot about how there's a labor market gap in skilled trades, and we talk about how attracting talent is important, but we lose people because the system can't scale efficiently. Labor market demands shift, immigration rules and the interpretation of those rules change, and organizations, especially tech, feel the fallout in hiring. So why was BorderPass founded? Our co-founders, Sally and Josh, saw that bottleneck, saw the challenges firsthand. Josh being an immigration lawyer by trade, Sally a serial entrepreneur who had immigration challenges of her own between the US and Canada. And they saw how fragile this interpretation and that shift in the rules can make the system. It works one day and it fails the next. One example that exposes that failure is when just recently confirmation letters that are sent by the government when you apply for a visa weren't being passed along to the applicants. Our system caught it, flagged it. We were able to raise that issue back to the government of Canada to get it fixed and assure our users that their applications were in fact being submitted. And this was across every application, not just those done on BorderPass. Another example is when the rules about eligibility for a work permit changed overnight. Schools and students had no advance notice. So this is a broader pattern across the entire ecosystem. Newcomers, workers and students, schools and employers, it's challenging for the schools to interpret these regulations because they come at a pace that's difficult to operationalize. It's challenging for newcomers, of course, to interpret these regulations themselves and risk making mistakes when they apply for visas. And of course, it's challenging for employers who scramble to manage the hiring plans because timelines shift and rules shift unexpectedly. So all three of these stakeholders face the same underlying issue: legal complexity that can't scale with real world demand. And immigration is an example of that systems type problem. The core issue is that law has never really been forced to operate at scale or speed. And once we saw that, it became obvious that automation, built for compliance and legal reasoning, could turn an unpredictable and high variance process into something reliable. So what does BorderPass solve? And in a word, that's access. And here we have it firsthand from one of our users. I wanted to go through the immigration process and not make any mistakes, and BorderPass made sure that happened. And the real value is providing access to all of our stakeholders, access to newcomers to interpret regulations and build the strongest possible visa application, build their futures, access for schools who find it hard to keep up with changing regulations, and access for employers who need to stay focused on growth. So we give them the clarity that they can't find anywhere else. And why do we do what we do? Because we believe in fixing a weak point in Canada's talent infrastructure. To date, we've helped over 1,000 newcomers. We are the #1 processor of permits with IRCC, not just study permits. We've helped people in over 167 countries, and that's what's allowed us to become a Globe and Mail fastest growing company this year, and part of the Deloitte Fast 50 as well. So immigration is just the first layer. It's where BorderPass initially saw friction, but the next question is, what other areas of law break at scale? And our future opportunities, we feel, are much broader, that we can clarify legal complexities, not only in scale, but also at scope. And we look forward to what we can do together. Thank you.
I'll start with the first question. How is BorderPass impacted by changes to like federal immigration policy?
It's worked to our advantage to a certain extent. As the rules have become tighter, that's all the more reason to have experts backing up your application. So the additional scrutiny, the additional regulations, the additional pace at which change is happening has made it all the more critical to have legal guidance when you're exploring global mobility.
Hi, Michael. I wanted to ask you if you could go back in time and meet yourself when you guys were in the pre-seed or pre-seed. What kind of objections did you have to overcome for investors and VCs?
I think scale was the biggest objection. Because we launched primarily international student focused, there was a question of how we could grow beyond that. And now it's much clearer to us. It's not just about immigration, but immigration is a use case in a broader capacity of solving legal complexity.
I have a quick question about the fact that you work with over 167 countries. So I know that you're helping with the Canadian applications, but because of the rules other countries may have, does it ever affect the experience of your customers?
The short answer is sometimes, and it depends on the particular visa involved, but yes, it can. Certain countries have certain agreements with Canada, which makes those opportunities a little bit different from country to country. But primarily, we're focused on the rules in coming to Canada for the time being.
Hi. Sorry, is this working? So I'm an immigrant myself. I actually got my work permit just a week ago, but you know that the policies have been changing a lot. So how does your platform actually help when those policies change, let's say overnight, and I'm a user, but how would it actually help someone, face those changes and then make changes to their application better?
Well, first, congratulations. The pace of change is something. Pace of change is something that we all are challenged by. The first thing we do is communicate to our users as quickly as possible when those changes come out. We do offer a level of guidance, but realistically, everyone's situation is a bit different. So all of our lawyers and our customer success team is always available for individual consultations should you need specific one-on-one guidance that the platform may not be able to offer.
Last question.
It appears that the majority of your customer base are people seeking immigration into Canada, correct? Do you see this potentially being a platform that other immigration lawyers would also use in their relationship with clients?
Quite possibly. That's why we talk about expanding at scale and at scope, and that is certainly one area that we've considered.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Check your clock. I was going to say watch, but probably your phone. Check your phone. What is the time, Mahendra, my man?
What's the time? It's 8:17, 8:18.
Yeah? No, let's get an audit. Sarah, what is it?
8:28.
8:28. What time did we sit down, Sarah?
I don't know. I was finishing my drink up.
7 p.m. I told you 90 minutes, and I landed the plane with 2 minutes to go. You have now, instead of just wasting your time watching Pokemon dance around a screen or James Bond fly off some dam, you have learned. You have gained knowledge, understanding of the community, networks that you are going to have forever, or at least 10 more years. It's going to be unbelievable what you can do with this knowledge and this connection. So, if you didn't post on LinkedIn yet, tagging TechTO with your community open mic, you can still do it. If you haven't connected with the person next to you, this is about to be your chance. And you are going to continue to grow your network and your knowledge at the next event on January 12th, 2026. We will be at Mars. If you haven't been there, it's super fun. You're going to love it. It's the same shtick that you saw today. It barely changes, Danielle. And yet, after 30 events, you still are floored every single time. Absolutely love it. So we have early bird tickets, so if you're going to set a New Year's resolution, you might as well do it now. Save some cash or become a member and save a lot of cash. Finally, if they are wearing the TechTO website, they are volunteering their time and energy and passion to make this community awesome. Can we give them a round of applause for all the folks that you saw? Greatest volunteers in the world. And now, to keep it going, a round of applause for the after party. We will be leaving here. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. That's right. It's 6 minutes. It is freezing out there. That is why we've made it as close as possible. There is no other legal drinking establishment closer to council chambers than the Duke of Cornwall. But if you do a 6-minute walk, you will see 200 of your closest friends from tonight. You can reminisce about what those cameras did or didn't see in Ibiza. You can talk a little bit more about the changes in immigration policy. Maybe you'll refer a CPA for a $250 credit on your license. Who knows what you'll do at the after party, but it's guaranteed to be an awesome time. And with that, a round of applause, the last one of the night for you, the greatest tech community in the world. Let's head out to the after party, and you can play my theme music. I don't have theme music. If I